Hello, guys. It's a beautiful morning from where I am talking right now, and I actually have a lot on my mind to talk about, but my thoughts are not really well organized to structure out what is on my mind to give it out in a structured manner. Because when I'm in a mood like this, right, it means my mind is really scattered in many directions, looking at different issues and trying to fit it all in to see it's how it inform either my week or my day or something I have as in mind as a prospect. But I think if I want to trace this down to something that really kind of like capture an experience that captures the core of what is on my mind, it's in a story. And this actually happened about 2 weeks ago, I think. Yeah. So it happens to be the birthday of a colleague, some colleagues of mine at the office, and about 7 or 8 of them sharing the same month, having a birthday in the same month. So it's a culture for them for a year in the office to celebrate every month at the end of the month, last Thursday of the month, those having that birthday. But the story, this is the story. The story is what one of them said when he was asked the question. So each and every one of them was asked the question, one question: what is that one thing that you think you would like to change if you had the opportunity to go back? You look through your life, what's that one thing you regret that you think if given the opportunity to go back in time, you would have done better? And a lot of them said many things. Some said no, right? Some said nothing, comfortable with the decisions they've made, the failure leading to the better person they are today and all that. But the eldest among them, one of them, an elderly man, said something very profound, and within that word captured a lot of emotions, right? He said his only regret is not his decisions, no, not his life. He said he has had a good life, right? And he has made a lot of decisions that has helped him, but he would have done it faster. That his regret is if given the opportunity to go back, a lot of the decisions that he made that he took late, he would have done it faster. He wouldn't have had to wait till it becomes a little bit too late to make those decisions. That is like his biggest regret, seeing how he has turned out now. He has wasted time, and he said it with a lot of emotions captured in his voice, that could not even well be articulated with words. And immediately he said that a man beside me that knew him very well said, yes, you understand what this man is saying, that if not for any other thing, he married very late, and that is even the reason why he's still working in service, because he's an elderly man that he has children, young children that needs with a lot of financial needs, and that is the reason why he's still in service. If not, he would have retired a long time ago. Being around young people, vibrant in a tough office environment with the politics and everything going on, but his age does not suit those kind of things again. He's been in service for a long time. That the man ended it with an advice to me that whatever decision you have to do it fast, especially in marriage. If you think that marriage is something that you want to do, consider it and settle early. But that is one aspect that got me thinking. One of the hardest things that most times we do, one of the important thing rather that we find it difficult to do, yes, is telling ourselves the truth. Right? You might imagine that it's very easy. How can you lie to yourself? The truth lies there especially when you speak, when your mind or your conscience speaks to you, or when you sit down to reflect. But in reality, we'll find it difficult to tell ourselves the truth. Yes, because we like to assume a position of, how we expect ourselves to be in our minds, right? You maintain that mental picture of the person that you think you would like to be, positive mental image. Whether you do it consciously or not, you project an image of the person you like to be when you think about yourself, and actually looking at the person you actually are, identifying your mistakes, your flaws. And that's why when that question comes, if given the opportunity to go back, what would you like to change? Sometimes this question does not even take you back to when you were a child, or in the last 2 minutes, in the last 10 minutes, an hour ago, maybe some days ago. There are many things when you look at it, that many mistakes we make, that as human, it goes a long way to show how imperfect we are. Nobody is saying that learning from mistake does not make us better. But what we are saying is, when you sit down and lies and tell yourself the truth, you will discover a lot of things that you've done wrong. And that's why it's always advised that when you go in the place of prayer, you acknowledge your sin, telling yourself that these are things that I need to work on, these are things that I need to make better. Giving you an idea that being honest to yourself about your weakness and your failure helps you become a better person, not denying it and not trying to leave it as something that will deal with itself. So you see, these are the things that I've been meditating about, thinking through this morning. And I see there's still more actually, and looking at my time now, I've been speaking for 7 minutes and I've just been able to uncover some. But I'm going to leave us with this. It is important that we allow ourselves to see the reality, see things for how they really are and not how we assume them to be. Yes, it is good to maintain a positive mental picture, have a vision of where you're going and all that, other motivation. They have their place. But in your journey, when you look through the challenges you have, you see your weakness. It's your weakness that you're not courageous enough to take some steps, you're not bold enough. Why not identify those issues? You can borrow strength from somebody that is courageous. Association. If your weakness is that you lack wisdom in some aspect, you seek wisdom. If it's a constant struggle where you feel there's a roadblock, you are stuck. If it's hard for you to identify, that is a problem. It is hard for me to identify my weakness or my challenge. Then you seek feedback. Just like when you stand in front of a mirror, you're not, yes, you can apply makeup to give the mirror an impression of who you want to see. But when you stand sincerely in front of a mirror and you bear as natural as you can be, the mirror gives you an honest feedback of who you are. So you find somebody that you can be vulnerable to, open yourself. The mirror is designed to handle that feedback that is meant to give, which is a reflection to show you what is meant to show you. So, and you find the person that can help you become that person, come to the knowledge of what is missing. And that is the beginning of the point of victory. Recognizing that you need help and asking for help does not mean that you're giving up. It means that you are ready to fight and you don't want to lose. This is a piece I want to leave us with this morning, and I hope we find something that will help us become a better version of who we are meant to be. Thank you for sticking around to the end.